Housing Development Progress. Number one and the best. Housing Development Progress. Number one. Number one. Housing Development Progress. Number one and the best. Housing Development Progress. Number one. Housing Development Progress. In Nigeria. Housing Development Progress. In Africa. Housing Development Program and the globe. Number one, Housing Development Program.
A very good morning to you and welcome to another interesting episode of Housing Development. Right here is where you get the latest information about housing and construction industry in Nigeria and beyond. As always, I am your housing diva, Fleur Ani. Land matters have been one major area of discourse on the lips of many, from acquisition, allocation, and even administration. The list goes on, and that is why today's program is geared towards addressing relevant issues in land administration and ownership in Nigeria. This and more will be coming your way right after the news making rounds in the sector. I will be right back.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, has reiterated his commitment towards implementing policies that will trigger development in the housing sector, stating that all necessary policies will be reviewed in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The minister gave the assurance when the delegation of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, NIA, led by the President, Architect Enyi Ben Ebo, paid a courtesy visit to the minister in Abuja. He also assured the institute that the ministry will look into the issues surrounding influx of substandard building materials, which, according to him, can be achieved collectively.
You have made a lot of issues which are worth considering, especially the influx of these substandard building materials, to which I don't think there's any other profession that's solely responsibility of ensuring that control, because when you talk of building collapse, majority of the building collapse, you'll find that it's still got toward the residential houses.
The minister also expressed satisfaction at the level with which professional issues surrounding the institute is being tackled, stating that letters have been sent by the ministry to that effect.
Architects and even the architecture itself, as you said earlier, honestly speaking, it's a call for concern. We're just lucky and happy to hear that most of the issues that have been that has been bringing a lot of embarrassment to the profession are being sorted out, or they have been sorted out. The issue of the conflict between the ARCON and the NIA.
While speaking, President of the Institute, Architect Ben Ebo, charged the minister on the need to create an enabling environment for the professionals in the ministry to thrive. Among the list of concerns tabled before the minister by the institute is the need to review the National Housing Policy for it to become as beneficial as the National Health Insurance Act. Ebo assured the minister that the institute will continue to provide support for the growth and success of the sector. A pioneer and leading non-governmental housing group in Nigeria, HDAN, has given reasons why Architect Ahmed Musa Dangiwa will deliver as Minister of Housing and Urban Development. Executive Director of Housing Development Advocacy Network, HDAN, Festus Adebayo, disclosed this at the end of a stakeholders' dinner for the new Minister of Housing and his colleague, the Honorable Minister of State for Housing in Abuja. According to Adebayo, Dangiwa is result-oriented and extremely humble, adding that Dangiwa is aware about those obsolete laws that are affecting the mortgage sector development and has the capacity to mobilize stakeholders to support him to get necessary enabling laws for the sector. Adebayo called on all leaders in the sector, stakeholders, including all our respected professionals in the ministry, to support the renewed hope agenda of the minister. He also acknowledged that the professional bodies in the built environment have all promised their support for the new Minister of Housing at the stakeholders level. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Chief Nyesom Wike, have expressed dissatisfaction with the 85 billion naira contract for the provision of infrastructure for the Wasa Affordable Housing Project in Wasa District, Abuja. Wike expressed his displeasure when he led the Minister of State for FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, and other government officials to visit the road construction site for the housing estate on Monday. Earlier, Mr. Olusegun Olusan, Acting Coordinator, Satellite Town Development Department, explained that the contract for the provision of the infrastructure was awarded in 2014 at 26 billion naira, but revised to 85 billion naira in 2018. The minister was not impressed with the arrangement made by the FCT, stressing that government should not spend 85 billion naira to provide infrastructure, land, and not benefit nothing.
For more housing, finance, and construction news, visit www.africanhousingnews.com. When it comes to land, the law is settled. However, not many Nigerians are aware of these laws and its application. Hence, most people fall victim of fraud as a result of ignorance. Let's take a look as this expert takes us through land ownership in Nigeria.
Nigeria is in dire need of improved land administration. The current system faces numerous challenges, including inefficient land registration processes, unclear property rights, corruption, and land disputes. This complexity has caused confusion and disputes among landowners as issues hinder economic development, discourage investment, and increase complexities associated with land acquisition and development.
We have to be able to buy and sell. Today, once you build a house in Yanopaja, you are not able to sell because there are too many regulations. So that is where we should be looking at. And I'm always very surprised when people keep on talking about land use act, land use act. Let me just tell you that the impediment that we have in land administration, they are not from the substantive provisions of the Land Use Act. They are from the regulations made by the various governments under the Land Use Act. So we just have to sit down and tackle all the states and let them make regulations. Issue around consent, fee, how long they are not in the Land Use Act. The Land Use Act also only says that it shall be unlawful for you to alienate without consent. Every other thing that you see, they are from regulations made pursuant to the Land Use Act, and they can be changed tomorrow if you have a governor that understands what you are talking about. So we need to pay attention to that. So we have to commoditize housing.
In spite of the government efforts in this direction, the problems remain insurmountable. The importance of land to the provision of adequate housing cannot be overemphasized. Addressing the significant concerns of land administration in Nigeria is essential for fostering economic development, reducing conflicts, and ensuring equitable access to land resources for housing development.
I think it's hard for regeneration to work in Nigeria, and I see it works in the UK because you have uniform infrastructure. In Nigeria, it's quite different. So for it to work, you have to have the infrastructure. For example, you have in Maitama in Karu. You also have to have transport access in terms of transport. There's a lot more that needs to go into the areas that need regeneration before it becomes attractive to developers and also to off-takers. So I think the government will have to work towards that to make regeneration an attractive option for developers, because then it allows access to cheaper land and also allows for development, equal development across different areas.
Affordable housing is another pressing global issue, and it becomes attainable when there is a smooth and accessible land administration process.
The sector itself, our sector has a huge credibility gap because of the high failure rate. So in order to fix that, we've got to do a lot of sectoral self-policing. We've got to create sectoral standards and we could say code of practice for developers that are in the industry. And when we do that, we then begin to actually not lobby government, but lobby the market to tell them that, okay, if you're going to invest in housing in Nigeria, these are credible developers that are subscribed to this code of standards. You know that when you're buying from them, this is what you're going to get, and you're going to be able to enforce it. That addresses the credibility gap.
Implementing recommendations will require concerted efforts from the government, civil society, and international partners. For the broader spread of home ownership, land administration has to be tackled and developers encouraged in accordance with the Land Registration Act 2012.
My name is Architect Ahmed Nengiwa, the Honorable Minister of Housing and Urban Development. I hereby endorse the Housing Development Program.
We don't have road. And you see, at times, if it is raining, you will see a lot of people will go by the roadside. They'll be thrown dirt on the main road. We also doesn't have toilet. You see a toilet, you will still up to 30 tenants. They are using one. You can't leave your door open, go and buy something. Before you will know, Babambola will enter. By the time you will take them to police station, 1 hour is too much. The police people will release them. In fact, we don't know what is happening.
This is the situation with many citizens in not just Nigeria. Are we ready for this conversation? What is the plight of an average Nigerian citizen in regards to housing? Housing is a fundamental human right, and these issues must be addressed.
Welcome back. Owning a land in Nigeria comes with its ups and downs. While many save money to acquire lands, others save years to process them. From bureaucratic bottlenecks, long registration procedures, and inconsistent policy, and voices on the streets, Nigerians speak on challenges faced with owning land in Nigeria.
These people, to tell you they have land in social place, and if you fall into their hands, you might end up being duped because they sell a particular plot of land to 2-3 people. That is why it is another big challenge. And we thank God there is what they call ages, Abuja geographical and whatever, they take care of that. So my advice to anybody that wish to buy land or own property in Abuja is to make sure you do due diligence. Go to the ages and then find out if that land actually belongs to that person that claims ownership.
Sincerely speaking, when you want to talk about land in Abuja, talk about having genuine papers to land, and not the one some people deceive people to having all the chief or those local things. Let's talk about the genuine land, talking about where you have papers to it. It's really very difficult, very cumbersome. So the process of acquiring land in Abuja is just like the head of a cow passing through the needle. So many people have died, left behind their estate properties and all that. And they have issue of multiple duplication. I suffer that too. And the game those who work in those land offices do is a very terrible one. There are so many touts in this business here in Abuja. Corporate touts, let me use the word. Corporate touts. There are those who have this information. There are those who even snoop into government files. Or when they hear somebody, maybe when somebody is dead or something happened, they have a way of getting to the file, snap and reprint that kind of document and bring it to circulation. So these things are going on in the city.
Our government need to come into that. They need to sit and checkmate everything. Because it's not easy for somebody to buy a land and start bidding from the crash till finish, buying door, buying zinc. There's a lot of challenge.
There are so many challenges because in a situation whereby you stay for some years in Abuja, of which precisely like 10, 20, 15 years, and God has blessed you with little change, you need to buy a plot of land. There are some people that will give you land to build, but as time goes on, they keep telling you that that place is not good. Instead they say it's along the canal, or they tell you that that place is not suitable for where you can build, or maybe you don't have your papers. In the sense, there are some landowners that will come and claim that they don't want you to build it, that they only give it to you to make farms, not to build a house. And as a result of this, you'll be scared. In a situation whereby they give you land, they say maybe like all these indigenous, they used to sell land for person. After they must have collected their money, you start building. By the time you finish your building, it's either they tell you that yes, the way you build it maybe it's okay to them. They will not be telling you that you calculate the amount you spend, because that happened to one of my brother. After you finish the building, let's assume you build a 2-bedroom flat to your own taste. Then the man will later tell you that you should calculate your money using building that very plot of land. Then you use it to pay your house rent. As soon as it expired, then the house turned to their own. You start paying them. You can imagine this is one of the challenges we face.
You hear about allocations, and these allocations are made not considering people like us. So they will allocate it to themselves, and you want to get it, you don't even know how to, because one, the cost is high, the protocols involved. These are just the challenges. Nothing is made, especially when it comes to housing and land in Nigeria, nothing is made simple. They are all so cumbersome and complex, and just a court-like approach to everything. So it's very costly. The bottleneck in it is hectic. You acquire land from government, and by the time you want to build, they say someone else is already, These are just one of the problems that we face as Nigerians.
Nigeria need to reorganize itself. Reorganize itself in the sense that some time ago, I went to buy land. After paying for that land, I sent my client to go to the local to get me the CFO. I discovered that he took the document and went to the local government. From there, they're supposed to give me a number, which he has to take to the state, where they are going to issue that CFO. And when the process became too cumbersome, I now went on my own. Getting there, I discovered that the local government will give you a number. It is that number you are going to go to the state where they issue the CFO. And at where you are going to get that CFO, they tell you that they'll ask you where is the original copy of the receipt which you usually buy it from the locals. Government will not tell you, say, when you buy land from the indigenous within this Abuja, they say when you go to that indigenous, when you get the document, when you get to the land, they tell you that those indigenous have planted some crops there, that they are county, they are going to pay them. And if you don't pay them, you start fighting with the individual. And the government has told that the whole of Abuja land has been taken care of, and those locals have been paid off. They gave them an allocation. Then some other individual will go to, you see, some of these locals will go to a developer like a Garaki. They will go and build a small kiosk. All those local, they will be living there. When they ask them, they say they are indigenous. And now somebody else will go there and build. They will demolish it, say it's not an indigenous. So why are we discriminating against ourselves?
Hello, my name is Casey Arrest. I'm the Executive Director of the Centre for Affordable Housing Finance in Africa. We're based in Johannesburg, South Africa. Please keep watching Housing Development Programme. It's a great show.
Voices on the street there. You're still watching Housing Development. Welcome back. Still on land matters. The current land administration system in Nigeria is in a terrible state that requires immediate action. The stakeholders have pointed out areas that should be addressed as far as land administration is concerned. Let's have a look.
There are many stories of people in Abuja who claimed that their lands were taken away from them unjustly. Most of such cases ended in court, and many sought compensation from the Federal Capital Territory Administration. How much information is out there for residents on the Land Use Act? And how enlightened are the people in Abuja over land acquisition and ownership in FCT? In this exclusive interview, Barrister Ogunniran explains that one of the major challenges on land ownership and acquisition in Abuja is that of administrative bottlenecks.
People are facing acquisition or ownership of land in Abuja is the issue of administrative bottlenecks. For instance, You may be aware that you can acquire a plot of land in Abuja by submitting an application to the minister's office. But the procedure, the process, how that particular application will be processed, for it to be allocated to you, sincerely may be a Herculean task. And Nigeria, this is the fact all of us know. If you don't have access to a minister or someone who has a close relationship with the minister, your application letter may not be, given adequate attention. At least that issue of bottlenecks in the office becomes a very big challenge. We that are in private practice, we have encountered so many situations where even the civil servants, even the people that work in people that are working in the office that is in control and management of land administration, may even connive and collude with land grabbers and land speculators. You may be parading a document claiming that it is a genuine allocation without even knowing that you have a double allocation. And by the time maybe you start erecting your building, another person may even come up, either with us or whomever, to challenge your title.
He also added that many people are unaware of the processes involved in land acquisition in the Federal Capital Territory, as well as the Land Use Act and its implementation.
Many people in Abuja, living in Abuja, do not even know that at least that for one to acquire a land, that one can ordinarily submit an application to the office of the minister for an allocation of property. People don't even know that at all. Many do not even know that at all. Most often, whenever they have access to funds to acquire a land, they will just place a call. Please, I need a plot of land. They will start looking for someone who will sell. But that does not mean that that aspect is wrong. But ordinarily, nothing stops a Nigerian to submit application for allocation of land to the minister's office, because in Abuja, in FCT, it is the Minister of Federal Capital Territory that has power, that holds every land in FCT in trust for the benefits of the citizens. So people don't know about that one. So it is a very, very big challenge, because ordinarily, if people have a knowledge of such means of acquisition of land, there will be no reason for people falling into series of problems just in the bid on cost of acquisition of land. Yeah, I may say 80% of Nigerians do not even know there is a law called Land Use Act and there are benefits and its services to the nation.
The question of which court is saddled with the responsibility of entertaining land matters in the FCT is quite straightforward, he added.
The Land Use Act that governs administration of land in all parts of Nigeria, in 30 states, including FCT, made it clear. I think Section 39 of the Land Use Act. It used the word exclusive jurisdiction when it comes to issues to determine ownership or title to property or a piece of land in Abuja. It is the Land Use Act used the word exclusive. As a lawyer, while looking at the wordings of that particular Section 39, there is an anomaly. Our discussion on the ownership of land in FCT is a Federal Capital Territory High Court, or otherwise High Court of FCT that has jurisdiction.
Aleke urged the National Orientation Agency and other stakeholders involved to create more awareness of the processes in land ownership and acquisition so as not to fall victim to fraud.
My name is Robert Hornsby with American Home Builders of West Africa. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
It's good news. Are you a stakeholder in the built environment? Or you are looking for an authentic, credible source for housing and construction news in Africa? You now have an opportunity. Africa International Housing Show has now created a unique opportunity for you by establishing a full-fledged housing television, the first of its kind in Africa. You can now access information on home ownership, rental, building materials, finance, real estate, and insurance, among others. All on Housing TV Africa, channel 149 on StarTime.
Land is one of the most valuable resources that man needs. Buying land is considered a great achievement because of the value placed on land ownership. This has been one of the goals of every human being in order to be free from the grips of tenancy and have a shelter of their own. However, the purpose of purchasing land differs from one person to another. Some people buy land to build their dream house, while some buy real estate as an investment. Either way, listen up. Before you invest in the land, plan your budget. Location of the land matters too, and also the size of the land. Get the necessary document and also verify such document. It is also very crucial to keep track of every payment you have made, no matter how small. It is best to pay with checks or bank transfers than cash to avoid losing your hard-earned money to scammers. In case something goes wrong, this can be used as a minor piece of evidence of your payment. Do your due diligence. Don't get swindled. Well, that is it on housing development today. Thanks for watching. Glad you enjoyed your time with me. Make it a date next week, same time. Until then, I remain your housing diva, Flora Army. Do have a wonderful day.
Mm-hmm.